So I'm here to tell you about the day my life changed forever. This was the day that my psychic abilities came online after literally 21 years of existing as a normal human being in society. So this was the beginning winter months of 2014. I was in my college apartment bedroom, and something higher than me was guiding me to watch like 30 seconds to a minute of a few short videos. It was Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and Oprah. And after I turned the video off, mind you, my bedroom, I had like red lights, right? I heard this sound. It was like, wee, kind of like something, like a computer was powering on, but it was so freaking loud. And then I was like, I got scared because I could feel a presence in my room, but I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't see anything. And then after a few short seconds, I realized that the presence I was feeling was my own soul. And it was very weird. I'm just like, so what I felt was, it felt like a big giant was hovering not only above me, but in my room, taking up space. And that was the first day that my psychic abilities came online. I did not understand it at that time. And then I remember the next day, I went to class. I was in a love and marriage psychology class in Westchester University. And I'm walking and it's cold, and I notice I'm around people in the room and I can feel extra things. Like I could feel their true emotions. And ever since that day, not only was I able to feel my own soul, but I could feel everyone else's. I will genuinely say the beginning was very, very hard. Very, very hard. I remember times that I would have to ride the shuttle because it would take us from one side of campus to the other to go to class. And it'll be people who I've spent like 4 years of that college experiences with, partying, having fun. Mind you, from between 21 and 13, I literally partied every single weekend. Like I partied every weekend. Me and my girls, my guy friends, like I love dancing. So we would go out and dance and everything. It was just great. But after that, it would be times like I was on the shuttle and I would feel other people on the, other people be on the shuttle, and I would be on, I think we had Instagram at that time, and they would post something. It'll be a certain energy, but I'll be sitting right next to them, and all I would feel is like depression, remorse, shame, guilt, not feeling good enough, all like coming from their energy. And I'm like, huh. But they could be smiling. So ever since that day, it's like no matter how someone was presenting, they could be smiling, they could be telling the happiest story on earth, but I could genuinely feel what they're truly feeling in my own body as if it was my own. That was really hard. It really was. And I remember a thing that started to happen was people would come up to me and start crying and telling me all of their business. Mind you, I was a psychology major at the time, so I get it, but not like this. It was like something spiritually drew them to me to be like, oh, and I'm going through this and this and this, and I would just be like, okay. But it started to happen all the time. I remember crowds started to feel overstimulating for me. And mind you, like I said, I partied every weekend before this, so I would literally be in crowds all the time and it didn't bother me. But now it was just like, I'm feeling so much energy that, what am I supposed to do? So fast forward, I graduated in December of 2014. Yeah. And then I started doing something called City Year, which is a humanitarian program going into schools to teach math, reading, social, emotional learning. And I also taught African dance to middle school kids. And in City Year, we would have to meet and do these like rallies and stuff like that, just with the whole team in Philadelphia. And it was cool, but I wasn't as social as I was still social, but I was very selectively social because I could feel people's real energy. You know what I mean? I have so many stories about, the things that happened during this time. For example, I was at a Raleigh, city of Raleigh, and I was just standing with my friend, one of my girlfriends. She was like beside me. She was like in a wheelchair, she just doing her thing. We're like at the city of Raleigh, and I had a good day. Like I came, whatever. And then out of nowhere, my heart started to hurt so bad. And then like emotionally, and then I started to feel like I could cry. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on inside of me? I was just so confused. So then I turned around. I just like instantly knew there was this guy behind me. And he was like a couple inches behind me, like to the left. And I was just like, I just like walked over to him. I'm just like, are you okay? And, black young man, he was like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. I was like, okay. And then I walked back over to stand where I was standing beside my friend. And I'm like, friend, does that guy look kind of sad to you? And she was like, yeah. I was like, can we go stand next to him? So I was on one, we walked over there. I was on one side of him and she was on the other side of him. And we just stood next to him in the Raleigh because it was like almost 200 of us out there. And he gave me a hug and he started to cry. And he just was like, thank you. And ever since that day, he had the biggest crush on me. It was so cute. He would like get me all these nice presents and stuff like that. It was so cute. But, that was a part of that journey. But how I found out and came to acceptance that I had psychic abilities, well, the first one, which is clairsentience, because all the other ones came over the years. You know what I mean? Clairsentience is what all empaths are. Clear feeling, the ability to feel other people's souls and other people's emotions. So, City Year gave us some free therapy sessions. I was like, period, I'm gonna go. Because I was also having a lot of dreams. I was having dreams about stuff, and then the next day, they would come true. And I'm just like, what's going on? It would be times I was on a train, because I also like worked, in another county. So I would be on the train, and I would see stuff that I just saw in my dream life. It was like I would be having deja vu. It was just like all this stuff. And I remember I went to therapy and I was just like talking to her about the things I was going through. It was this lady, I can't tell you her name, but she was cute. She was so cute and sweet, older lady. And she would be staring at me in fascination like this. And I'd be like, I'm just like this young black girl, young black queen, like 22 years old at the time. Just like telling her my experiences. I'm seeing her in downtown Philly at like 6 o'clock at night. So it was real cute outside. It was a whole vibe, I'm not gonna lie. And she just kept staring at me, and in each session, she kept saying, Mia, I think you're psychic. If you don't get control over it, it's going to keep taking control over you. And at first, I just was like, mind you, because I used to go to church, you know what I mean? Like I used to go to church on Sundays with like extended family. My mom and my stepdad, they're Jehovah's Witnesses. So when I turned 18, they become very serious Jehovah's Witnesses. I even used to have Bible study. And my dad is Muslim. So I was raised in like religious energies, right? So when she was saying you're psychic, it was like, okay, you know what I mean? But after the 6th time, she said the same thing. Mia, I think you're psychic. If you don't get control over it, it's going to keep taking control over you. And then I was just like, all right, something, just like do some research. And I remember that day that I left her office and I was like, all right, let me like listen. And I remember walking in the street, it was so much glitter on the street. I was like, wow, what is all this? Like, it was just like things, it was like kind of like the book The Alchemist. Like all these magical things was happening, but I didn't understand it. And so then I started doing research and I saw the word empath, and it was all the things listed that I was going through. And I was just like, what the heck? And then that was the beginning. So I learned about my spirituality and my gift, and I was overwhelmed a lot because I was always feeling other people's energy. People were always coming up to me and telling me things. People would be trying to put on fronts, but I could see through it, and I would always have dreams about the future. It was very overwhelming. But then I learned, when I learned a little bit more about an empath, what did we have to do in order for us to start to balance our energies out. So that's when I was like, okay, crystals. That's when mind you, I've been collecting rocks my whole life. So I always collected rocks. But I saw okay, these particular crystals help you. That's when I started getting into crystals. I'm like, okay, let me go to the store and get this crystal. And it actually helped me. Like the black tourmaline, it helped me to kind of filter out some of that negative energy, because I would be so drained by the end of the day. And then I saw meditation and different things like that. And that was literally the beginning of my spiritual journey. So ever since that night, the winter, it was probably February, because it was close to Valentine's Day. That winter of 2014 is when my spiritual abilities came online, and my life has never been the same since. So that was my first gift, clairsentience. I'm like, part of me, I'm going to make another video to tell you more, so stay tuned. I'm actually going to do a series this morning. So thank you so much for watching. If you are an empath, or you've ever had times in your life where you could feel other people's true energies and things like that, definitely let me know. But I'm going to make another, I made a video to explain what the psychic, now that I'm 10 plus years in the game of having psychic abilities and having mastered them and using them to serve society, I understand them now. You know what I mean? So I can make videos for you. I already made a video before, but maybe I'll make another one. I'll make videos to help you to understand psychic abilities in a way that, is more tangible for you. So please like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like a reading with me, feel free to book a reading. I am a psychic medium, tarot reader, and a clinical creative arts psychotherapist and counselor. I also have a course, Shadow Work Alchemy, in my mystery school. And I also sell candles, oils, different oils to connect you with different energies, love, money, protection, all sorts of stuff, honey. Go ahead and click the link in my bio to join and, connect with my offerings. But stay tuned for the next video.